Hey, it's Joe Amoia, and I've got another great smarter dating tip just for you. Today we're going to talk about something that's so important. The question is, should you go back to an ex? Now, I'm not saying that going back to an ex can't work out. There are absolutely times where it can and it will work out. And I'm going to explain when those times are. But what I want to explain right now, and what I want you to understand, is that there are reasons why your relationship didn't work out. And so what you want to do is take a step back, because the only way that things are going to get better, it's not by you hoping they're going to get better, because believe me, I know. I was in a relationship for 3 years where we kept going back. We were engaged, we weren't engaged. We were on, we were off. And ultimately, the wedding was on until it wasn't. And so I totally get, I wasted 3 years of my life in one of those relationships, going back, thinking it would change, because the person was telling me what I wanted to hear, but the reality was their actions weren't backing it up. And that's the key for you to understand, is that you could want it, you can hope, they can want it, they could hope, but if their actions aren't consistently, and I'm going to talk about consistently, giving you what you need in order for you to be happy and fulfilled, it's not going to work out no matter how many times you go back. And the reason for that is people are who they are. You cannot change people. And even if a person wants to change, unless they actually do the work to change, they put in the time, effort, and energy to change, the reality is they're going to go back to who they are. And I'm sure you've seen this before. You're with a guy and, things are going to get better. Things are going to change. And they did for a little while until ultimately his old habits, his old patterns came out. So this is why I recommend is that unless your ex has seriously done some work, or maybe you had to do the work to change, simply move on. Learn from that experience and go on and create a better and happier relationship. And what you're going to notice most of the time is the reason you keep going back to your ex, or he keeps coming back to you, is fear that there's no one better out there. Maybe you had a great sex life and you think you're never going to find that again. Maybe, the chemistry was good and, you think you're never going to find that again. Or maybe, you had certain things in common and you think you'll never have that in common. And I get it. We've all been there. But the reality is if you found it with one person, you can find it with another. But you can't go forward if you keep going back. And so what I want you to understand now is there absolutely are times where going back to your ex can work. And from my experience, when that usually works, and I've had lots of friends and family members that has happened to personally, is they're dating someone and now all of a sudden they're looking at the end of their life. It's like, wow, am I really going to commit? This is some serious shit. And so you know what? I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if you're the one. So what they need to do is literally retreat and go into their cave. And they need to figure it out. And once they're by themselves and they get real honest with themselves, they go, you know what? I'm being stupid. How could I get rid of this person? This person's the best thing that ever happened to me. And once they get to that place in their heart, boom, that's when they're ready to commit. So I'm not saying that it can happen, but these are the parameters the only parameters where it does work. But for the most part, if you're trying to make a square peg in a round hole and you're not consistently getting the love, honor, and respect that you desire and deserve, going back to your ex, no matter how much you think it's a good idea, no matter how much you hope it's a good idea, no matter how much you bullshit yourself or he bullshits you, it's never, ever, ever going to work. So, this is some heavy stuff because it's something that a lot of people go through. And you may be struggling with this yourself, or maybe you know somebody right now who's struggling with this. And the premise of smarter dating is that when you pick the right person for the right reason, you don't have to struggle to make it work. It naturally works on its own. I really hope this helps. If it resonates with you, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to send them to us. We're definitely here to help. And again, if you know someone who can benefit from this information, please pass it along. We'll see you next time. God bless.